Hey guys, here we are today. My name's Ty Brown. I've got a standard Bachmann skeleton car here, and what I've done is I'm going to show you all how I made a extension piece. I've taken one of my original ones apart, and I've cast this center section here so we can extend it from the scale like 18 feet. With this one would be, this is with the extension in it, this scales it out to about 24 feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly show you how we go about changing this out and adding the length to the car itself. Once this is in, it's good and sturdy. I have, it's not just the resin holding up, I've molded into it a piece of key stock, which is a piece of steel. It'll keep it, you'll never bend it in the middle or break it in the middle. So it's really easy to do. You just have to more or less make one cut here along this end here, and I'll go through all the steps of how to cut it apart, put the new piece in, and then put it back together. So I'm going to get my stuff ready to pull this car apart, and then we'll move along. Okay, we have the car here. It comes apart really easy. We're just going to take the screws apart. Just pulling trucks off, laying them off to the side. And unless you ever take one of these apart, you'd never know, but these things are hollow. So we're just going to take the 4 screws out of the bottom. Make sure you put your tray to save all your screws in. Okay, one thing you do have to do, you do have to take the brake wheel out, pull it all the way out. That loosens the chain on the brake there. We'll just lay that off to the side, and we're just going to go ahead and pull the chain off. Lay it off to the side. Now, once you got those screws out and the chain undone, this all just pops off. Okay, so now we have it apart. One thing you do have to do is to make this work, there's this piece here, I guess it was hooked to the brake, comes in and it just locks into this piece here. What we're going to do is we're going to have to take this piece out. Sometimes they bend nice and easy, sometimes they don't. And we'll take the piece of metal out. Just keep working it till it comes loose. I'll have to, let me get it undone and then we'll move along. Okay, to get that piece out, one thing it would probably just as easy to do while it's in place, just take an X-Acto knife and try to just clean off the 2 pieces that's between it. Just pop it up underneath there, and then you do have to work it to get it out. That's a very tight fit. They must put it in while it was hot, or either can't tell if they put in glue on it or what. But anyway, you do have to work that out. It is so tight that I have broken one in the past, so just try to break it loose here first and then pull it out. All right, next thing we're going to do is we don't have to pull any of this part for the way I do it. What we're going to do is come in here and cut this straight across here just in front of these braces. So I'm going to go over here, and I use my table saw, so I'm going to cut it with I got one of the Microlux table saws. I'm going to move over to the table saw, show you how I cut it, and then we'll come back. And once you get it cut, it's a very easy install. So let me go over here to the table saw and we'll get it cut. Okay guys, here we are at the table saw. I've got it set up, and you don't use the fence. I use the guide here, and we're just going to make one clean cut across there. So we're just going to cut it on. Oh, help it if it was plugged in. Make sure I still got it lined up where I want it. And we're just cutting right here in front of these 2 straps. Okay, you can see how easy that was. So now we'll go over here to the other table and we'll get it apart and start installing it. Okay guys, here we are back at the table. Once you get it finished getting it cut, and you come in here and just clean off the edges, because of course when you cut it the plastic kind of melts right there at that edge. But just clean that up with the X-Acto knife. One thing you do have to do, where the straps come down in here, they're little tiny, looks like little, where it just barely came through the end. You have to just clean that edge up and just take that little nipple off. Just pop it off on each side. Okay, we're cleaning that, just cleaning the canal out for the piece to fit into. Now, another thing you need to do, you need to mark where the center of this hole is off to the side. Because what we're doing is we're taking our new part. Now, this is where you got to make sure you get it right. The short end goes in this side here, and you got to make sure that the bolt pattern's the same, because you can see the bolts, you know, the two pieces at the top, and just make sure it follows through. And what we're doing is we're just putting this up to the edge, and we're marking this where the center of that screw is. We're marking it all the way across. So what we're going to do is we're going to end up drilling a hole here in the center, and we do this to both sides. Here's the other one. I marked it right off the edge. Go over here and marked it on my part, and so we're going to drill a hole here. Now on this side over here, there is a piece where they cast it. You have to clean this off. It's just taking a knife and clean, because like I said, we're just cleaning the canal out, so we can get this part in there. And so anything that's not flush, there's just some places where it pulled off the mold. And then we got those two other little tiny nipples off the straps that we have to clean up. All right, got those cleaned up. Now what we're going to do is, once we have the places marked, this is very simple. We're going to take a real small drill and drill a pilot hole, and then we're going to come back and the bottom size of these holes here, this looks like a 5/16. So we're going to take a 5/16 drill and drill out that pilot hole. So I'm going to get those drilled real quick, and then we'll go from there. Okay, once we got the holes drilled, just make sure, like I said, the bolt heads are turned the right direction, but it will fit right in place. Everything matches up really nicely there. Let's see if you can see that. And then the other side comes in just like that. So now it's all there. We're not going to glue it in quite yet. On the first one I built, I didn't even glue it. I just screwed it back together, and it held together. It held together fine. But our next step is, now we have the bottom here, and you can see, you want to make sure you got it turned the right way, because it'll fit in either way. You just want to make sure you have the brake wheel portion stuck right. Come in here, we're going to lock this back in place exactly where it goes. And then what we're going to do is take a razor saw, got this back, and we're going to cut, I don't have it in my hand right now, but we're going to take the razor saw and just cut right along that edge there and take this off. And then once we get that one done, we pull it out, come over to the other side, stick it in here, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of this. We're going to cut this piece, and then we'll be ready to do the final install. Okay, here we are back at the table. We get everything cut. Now, like I said, when you get ready to put this thing together, you gotta make sure your bolt pattern is the same all the way through, because you could turn it either way once you get it cut, and it would go in there and you need to have it backwards. All right, just this would fit your piece in. Come in here. That just locks in place, nice and sturdy there. Come back on this side over here, put this in. All right, now that's all locked in place. You just have to go ahead and put your screws back, and then it's locked in. Now you can use if you're going to make it good, of course you're going to make it permanent. I'd use something like 5-minute epoxy or 30-minute epoxy, whatever you want. Just put a little bit on the inside, on the sides, and as you pop it back together, it gives you time to screw everything in, make sure it all looks nice for you before, you know, so just in case you've put something together you don't like it. Maybe you put the bolt heads up the wrong side. Still got time to pull it out and turn it over. Okay, once you got a good trial fit here, I'd pull it back out and prime it. I usually make sure I wash the piece because there are mold release agents on it. Just wash it with a good degreaser. I go back and I use the Rust-Oleum self-etching primer. Personally, I would not prime the extensions because you're just adding thickness to it. Just tape it off and prime the center section here. I used on the original one, and I'm not sure, you may be able to tell a little color difference. Now I haven't gave it a flat coat or put a flat cover, you know, spray it with a dead flat clear but you can tell this center section here is a flat color and these are not. But this is an Americana acrylic paint. It's antique maroon, and I painted the center section or this section that color. It's just a tad off on the color, but by the time you add weathering powders and everything or weathered it at all, you probably really wouldn't even be able to tell the color change. The red oxide doesn't quite match this, but then again, you could go ahead and paint the whole car if you wanted to. I was just trying to do something quick, and it was pretty close. But I would prime it and paint it before I did the final install. That just saves you from having to paint the whole thing. But it matches up really nice on all sides all the way around there. One thing I did do, you can see these straps on here. I took some 3/16 inch styrene. It's like 0.30, 0.20 styrene, and I made straps. There's a joint right here and a joint right here, and so I just put those covered, and then I just spaced these other two out so it looked like it was done all the way down the car. So it makes it look really, really nice. But this is a really simple install. It takes all of about 10 minutes once you've done one. Doing the rest will be simple. I got 4 or 5 cars to do myself, but this ends up making you a 24-foot car instead of the Bachmann 18-foot and the 120.3 scale. But yeah, these things are available from Ty's Planes. I've been doing model airplanes for 20 years, so I wasn't able to change my website name, but I do have all the train parts I have are on sale, or I sell them through my website, so you can go there at tysplanes.com. There's a phone number there, you can call me, but they make a nice addition. I hope you enjoy installing them, and like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.